that one dude said.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but cool.
But I dig it.
I
I
dig it.
dig it.
Yep,
The Midwest Hunks live and in action with
that's
another
right.
episode. Episode 10, actually, bro.
Well, is the 2-part one, is that considered one episode or is that
Yep. I'm going to consider that one
okay?
because it's a long one.
That is a long one.
2 hours almost. Hour 45, roughly.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, good. Good. I thought so. I bet you, well, the people it'll be out there.
Yeah.
So soon.
This volume on our mic, is that your volume or my volume?
It's the volume. If you're jacked into the microphone, it's the volume in your ears.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yep. So if I turn it up, it's not going to do anything because I'm
No,
not plugged into my microphone.
correct.
Gotcha.
So how's your day, man?
It's good. It was good. Way
Good.
better than yesterday. Wasn't too hot today either, so it was kind of relaxing.
No, I know. It's kind of hazy out today. Like
I
it's
know it was this morning too. The sun looked funky when I went into work today.
yeah, it was like red.
Yeah, red, and you could just cover it up by that nasty smog that we got going on over here
I
in
actually
the
took some
Midwest.
where our YouTube banner is. I pulled in there the last couple days because like the sun's been beautiful, minus today. But I took some pictures of it with me, like in the background, and I was gonna post it on our YouTube page. But apparently, you gotta wait 2 months, or you gotta give some verification through ID.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, okay, well, I'm not giving you my ID, my driver's license or something to
Yeah.
verify. So I'm like, well, we'll wait 2 months and then we'll put
See
some
what
pictures
happens.
up there
Cool.
for everyone to enjoy because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful scenery.
Yeah.
We talked about that. We're fortunate to
Yeah.
be
Be right on the
surrounded by,
lake, man.
yeah, that's right. The Great Lakes, man. Yeah, today wasn't too bad. I was actually, before we kicked off, I was prepping some dinner and I was jamming to some music. I was in a music mood today.
Right on.
I was listening to some Ted Nugent,
Okay.
a little bit of rock and roll,
There you go.
Sweaty Uncle Teddy.
Sweaty Uncle Teddy.
That's
Cat
right.
scratch fever, baby.
I love it. Stranglehold. That's such a good riff, man.
It
I
is.
just love good rock and roll with good riffs.
Yeah, it's a classic.
That's my air guitar.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah, it's good. So I was jamming. Kid was probably annoyed because I like it loud, man. I like my music loud.
Yeah, I do too. I jam.
Yeah.
That's like on my days off, I'll turn Pandora on or whatever and turn it on the TV and just blast it. The dogs have to like go in the bedroom and because they won't sit out in the living room when I have it on. It's
They
too
gotta
loud, I
bail.
think. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I just
They look.
play whatever. And yeah, I
Yeah.
was listening to Stapleton today a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
like
like I
him.
like Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, he's good. He's
Yeah,
very good. He's got a good voice,
dude,
good.
he's changing it, man. He's changing the game. He's got the old
Yeah,
school country sound to him, you know.
but new. It's like old mixed with the new, and it
Yep,
works.
yep.
Yeah,
No, it's awesome.
he does a lot of good collaborations with people as well.
Hmm.
He's got some of Morgan Wallen, Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
Very good. They're really good. Yeah, yeah. What else was I listening to? I go all over the place. I was actually listening to Savage Garden. Remember them?
Oh yeah, dude, I love
Yeah,
Savage Garden.
yeah. I was
Yep.
listening to them. I was all over, and then the Footloose soundtrack. I was jamming to that too.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, I was listening to I have Blues Traveler came on and I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh man, I remember
dude.
that time that I went to after I think it was after the Packers won the Super Bowl, they had a big concert the following season at Lambeau Field and I went there and Blues Traveler was playing with Everclear
Dude,
and I'm like, "Oh, this is sweet," you know, and this is like what 2011, something like that.
man,
And go there and I'm like, "This is awesome," you know, like
that's
just
cool.
totally stoked seeing 2 bands that, like, I loved in school when I was in high school, you know? It's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
How many concerts have you been to? Have you been to
Not many. I was never really a big concert goer, you know what I
No?
mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm just smashing my face off the mic here.
Well, that's all right.
Um, I saw Metallica in 2010.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, like I said, the Blues Traveler, and that wasn't really a concert. That was just kind of like a free thing. Um,
Yeah, but
we
that's a
used to go.
band.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we used to go to festivals quite a bit too. Um, like there was some country festivals and stuff that I went with like my family when I was a kid. But like I never really got into. I saw Jackal a couple times.
Oh,
That
they're
was fun.
good.
That
He's
was a
good, man.
fun one to watch. There was like a Metallica cover band that played there too, and yeah, they actually played at my buddy's wedding.
Really?
Yeah, they talked to him like, "Hey, we want you to play at our wedding." It was a Metallica cover band. They were awesome. It was so cool.
That's cool,
But
man.
I mean, they didn't play just Metallica stuff there, but they're both rockers and like they had fun with it. So it was kind of neat.
Sometimes I wish I would have kept going with like learning the guitar,
Mhm.
because it's so cool and to make music and make sound, man. I was having a blast doing it.
Yep.
But then I don't know.
There's
But you can kind of teach yourself online now
yeah.
with all the options that are out there and videos and such.
Well, YouTube, you can pretty much find anything and learn
Right.
how to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of credit to people who learn instruments, though, man. That's tough. It's hard to
Hell
do.
yeah. It is, man. And reading music and
Mhm.
understanding like rudiments and chords and all even the drums. I mean, it's that's one thing I wish I would have did in school was take band. I was in choir, but take band and like learn the drums because I've always been a fan of the drums, man. I just love
Yeah.
the sounds they make, dude. The guy that taught me, I don't know if I told this story on here or not before, but my dad was like in a garage band back in the day.
Okay.
And he's like, "Well, go get hold of such and such. He used to be the drummer in our band and he's really good." And he was self-taught, but he was like he could play jazz music on the drums. And that's difficult because that's
Yeah.
very technical and precise, dude.
Like the very precise rhythm, right?
Yeah, like off beats and stuff, but it was so cool. But I mean, he can rock too. It
Sure.
was so that was a good time in my life. That was fun.
Sorry, I was distracted for a minute. My dogs are having a WWF match behind me right now.
Oh, off the
It's pretty
couch.
cool. Yeah.
Oh,
It's awesome watching them when they get into like when they get feisty, they just start wrestling each other and they'll actually stand up on hind legs and just like claw at each other and
really?
just like one of them will throw the other. It's hilarious. Once
That's
in a while,
funny.
like I have a couple of my buddies on Snapchat and just some close friends, and I like will snap them that, and
Throwing down.
I'll play some like Pantera in the background while they're wrestling, just
That's
to
cool,
get
man.
a fun video out of it. But
That's a
yeah,
good band too, man. Pantera.
dude, yep,
They jam, man.
they
They
yep,
jam.
they were good, and then they turned into Hell Yeah. Hell Yeah is good too. You ever hear Hell
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. I got some of them on my MP3 player.
Yep,
Mhm. Alcohol and Ass. I think that was
yeah,
one of the
good
songs
song.
they did. Yeah, that's a
Yep.
good song. Yeah, there's actually a lot of good like, I never got hardcore into, like, the death metal stuff. I had a friend that was very big into, like, the death metal stuff. I couldn't get into that.
Yeah,
The
I'm not into like the
I
screamy.
just
No, yeah, no,
yeah.
not that. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
that's like screamo shit. I'm not. We don't need any of that.
No, I couldn't. He was a fan, but he was a good fan of a lot of music. So he turned me on a lot of different, like, Anthrax.
Okay.
They were big back when Metallica was first coming on the scene. But Anthrax is still a big name band,
Yeah.
but it was,
Did they
like,
have to
kind of
change their name?
No.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
okay.
No.
Just after the whole anthrax scare shit.
Well, yeah, but, just like Corona, the beer, they
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
funny how that stuff is, hey?
Yeah, they just name it. It's almost like they're like, "Yeah, we don't like that company. What can we name it? Yeah, we're gonna name it this so that way."
It's weird how things have changed their names now because of situations that happen in the world.
Dude,
You
the
know what I'm
name
saying?
changing thing is dumb.
You
I
know?
saw there. I like memes. I love looking at funny memes, and there was this like big like Native American dude with a T-shirt that had like a white dude on it, and it was like the Caucasians. I just started I
That's
just started
awesome.
laughing. I'm like, "Oh, that's good. That's really funny?"
Yeah.
But I look at it like this: like if you have a team name as something, that's that's showing respect to them, being like, "Yeah, we're a team,
Yeah, oh,
and
yeah.
we're here to like
Yeah.
compete and be better than other people." You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like a show of I guess it's
appreciation,
yeah,
gratitude.
like
Yeah, I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
I don't know, not gratitude. I don't think that's the right word, but
Well,
um,
I want to
just
throw
yeah,
something fancy out there.
appreciation and showing that you kind of think that that's a cool thing that you would name your team after them. I don't see why people have to like use it as a
Yeah, I
bad
don't know,
thing.
man.
I don't know.
It's yeah, it's just funny to me. That's all,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, there's a lot of good like Volbeat. That's another good like a Danish. That was
Hmm.
they jam. A lot of good bands out there, man.
Yeah.
But something about the '80s to me, man. Not just like the hair metal, because that stuff is great, but like soundtrack music and such from back then. Like Kenny Loggins. He was like the Danger Zone. He did so
Yeah.
Footloose. He just like there's something about the distinct sound of the music from back then. I don't know. It just always puts me in a good mood.
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's
just
arena rock, man. That's what it
yeah,
is.
it's just
Just
good stuff,
upbeat,
man.
the high tempo, like have fun, it's a party.
I haven't been to a concert in a long time.
Can you hear my dogs? Is it like
No,
annoying? You can't
mm-mm,
hear them?
no.
Okay.
And who cares?
They're like
They're the dogs, man.
to
They're in
me
the
they're
show too.
extremely loud.
They're partying.
They're partying all right. You
Put
guys
on some arena
wrestling down
rock.
there? Huh? Okay. They just looked at me like, we're not doing anything wrong."
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
give me
I
those
need to.
innocent puppy eyes.
I need to go. I haven't been to one in a while, and I'd like to go. It's been a while. It's been a while for me.
Go up to the island. They always got some good music up there.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen some good bands up there. Ted Nugent is actually going to be there.
Yeah. Well,
He's come
isn't he
like
like originally from Upper Michigan or Michigan?
yeah, he's from Michigan. Yep.
Yeah. Does he live in the UP?
Detroit,
Where
I
does
believe, because the Motor City Madman. That's another nickname of,
Oh
of
yeah.
his. Yep.
Yeah. I thought that just had to do with the music.
Mm-mm. No, he's. I mean, Kid Rock's from Detroit. We got a lot of good rock, a lot of good stuff here, man.
Mhm.
You know. And then I was thinking, you ever hunt? You ever hunted, or you a hunter, or fisher, or anything like that?
I have. I don't have fun with it really. I think it's boring.
Yeah.
Although I went with my brother-in-law a couple of years ago and he took me out. He knows his shit. He's really good. Like him and my sister, they go on like wild game hunts and
Oh, really?
they
They're
do some
into it.
crazy shit. Like they
Yeah.
just went hog hunting down in Texas or something. Like they're they're legit.
Really?
They could like make movies. I think
Wow,
that's
that's
how good
cool.
they are. Yeah, they're good. Um, but yeah, I went with him, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll go out on this stand. We'll probably get a deer out here. They've been around, whatever." Sure, shit. Go out there one time, and
Some people, that's like hard. They're hardcore, man.
yeah, man,
Into that.
that's their life. That's what they do, man. That's how they
No, I
feed
get.
themselves.
I've never went hunting. My grandfather was big outdoorsman, hunter, trapper, fisherman. Was on the news, like from fishing down. And yeah, impressive. I remember as a kid, he'd have like beaver. He'd skin them, and go to like trade shows and sell the fur or the pelt or
Oh, sure.
whatever. It was a big deal. But I never picked it up. I never. I used to like to shoot, target shoot and stuff back in the day. That was fun. I enjoyed that, but like never. I don't know, man. It was never my thing.
Yeah, I don't. I remember going as a kid. Like, right. I think what are you 12 when you get your
Uh,
safety license with your gun
Hunter
safety
safety.
license, hunter
Yep.
safety. So I remember going out. We used to live in the country, like when I was a kid, and I remember going hunting with my dad, and it was just cold and crappy, and you didn't see anything. And at that time, I think that he was just using it as a way to go out and drink. 'Cause we had talked about the alcoholism thing, and
Yep.
for him, I think that's just what it was. It was, you know, hunters
That's a
go
lot
out,
of
they,
guys.
they drink, and yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah.
And so, like, I just didn't have fun with it. It was a bad experience. Sitting out in the woods by yourself as a 12-year-old with no animals around. I don't know.
Nothing. Yeah.
It was shitty snow
Cold.
all over. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
rather I'd rather play sport. Like that's a sport, obviously, but I'd rather play like athletic sports.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. They say it's like peaceful. When I remember my grandpa telling me that it was like, it's just I'm out there in my thoughts and it's quiet
And I can see that
and
too.
I
And
get
being
that.
older, I
Yeah.
think that it wouldn't be a bad thing, but I need a little bit more action. I guess if you're good at it, you can find the animals, or stalk them or whatever, and do your thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a lot different.
Well, it's yeah, bait them in, and you gotta put the feed out there and keep. Yeah, it's an art. It's a game. It's just
Hmm.
like I've always been intrigued with bow and arrow. Like to revert to video games,
Yeah,
any kind of video game or RPG or what have like Skyrim, for example. A lot of people know that game. Great
yeah,
game,
yeah.
phenomenal
It
game.
is.
I'd always my weapon of choice would always be a bow and arrow, and it's
Oh,
one of the hardest.
stealthy and just.
Yeah, but
Yep.
it's hard to master that.
Yeah.
I shot bow a little bit when I was younger, but I was thinking about it today. It's like because I was jamming to Ted Nugent. He's known for he loves hunting
Hunting.
and
Yeah,
bow and arrow, and he's all hardcore into it. And it's like, man, that'd be cool to just like Legolas from Lord of the Rings, and just
yeah.
it just I don't know, just made me think, man. It was just something on my mind. Figured to bring it up, but I was always intrigued with that because that's an art to
Dude,
try
it
to
is.
shoot
Yeah.
a bow.
And if any sort of apocalypse happens, those are the people that are going to survive.
Oh shit, yeah,
You know what I mean?
shit, yeah,
Because one, they got the ammunition, and
yeah,
two, they know how to kill shit. So
yeah.
like, they know how to skin it. They know how to find their food. They know how to. They
Dude,
can
yeah,
navigate woods. They can all that stuff. You know,
yeah.
take some city slicker. He's gonna get you. Put him in the woods 10 feet, and he's gonna be lost.
I know a
Right.
lot. I say, man, The Walking Dead can teach a lot of people if shit were to pop off. Not a zombie apocalypse, but
Dude, I'm waiting for one. I think that would be the coolest thing ever.
fuck, dude.
Wouldn't it?
Oh man,
Come on.
yeah, yeah. I guess it would be
It would
pretty.
be it would be fun for a week. Give it a week.
Yeah,
After that, then it might get a little bit hairy, but, like, a week would be fun, I think.
but going back to a point you made a long time ago, or well, not a long time ago, but in a different episode, how movies predict things or they can show us things. I mean, that show could really show you what it could be like. That's no bullshit.
Right.
Like people against each other and a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
crazy shit happening.
Yep. Well, and it definitely would happen, you know? You get with a group, and there's always gonna be that one guy who thinks he's gonna be the boss, and then and we've
Yeah.
had that power discussion before too
Right.
about.
Right.
I mean, it all ties in, right? It's just a matter of what direction you wanna take it, but yeah, man, that's I don't know. I think a zombie apocalypse would be sweet, to be honest with you.
Be pretty hardcore. I
As
think
long as as long as they're not the really fast ones that can, like, jump forever,
yeah,
I just
they're all
no.
buff and shit and they can talk.
Well, then we're just talking about humans, I don't
Well,
know.
I don't
Those
know. It's just
the steroid users, that's what that would be.
yeah. It'd be interesting, man. It'd be interesting, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. That was something I was kicking around today, thinking about hunting and because there's people out there that are against obviously that type of situation and killing animals. And I'm not one for killing animals, right? Like
Yeah,
I don't even like to kill bugs anymore. It's funny how you change when you're a kid and you want to kill ants with a magnifying glass or like knock their anthill over. Like I don't do that shit anymore. I
yeah,
haven't done
just
that
let
in a
them
long
be.
time. Yeah,
I know
man. 'Cause
I find myself, like, walking around if I see a bee on my route, I get stung, like, every year.
I
It's
would
just
imagine.
like, a lot, and usually it's because I don't see them or whatever, but no, I've noticed myself, like, if I see a bee on, like, a plant or something, like, I'll just walk around it a little more so that way I don't
Yeah.
bother them. You know?
Yeah, I don't like it's why everything's got a purpose.
Yeah,
And it's cool. They're just trying to live too,
yeah.
right?
I'm not against hunting, though. I think hunting's good,
Oh,
and
right.
Ted
Right.
Nugent says it, like, he says it so perfectly, like, in his brash way of doing things, right? Like, 1 arrow, 1 kill type of thing. It doesn't suffer, the that animal was feeding on something that I planted, and then now I'm feeding on that animal, and that animal is gonna go back into the ground. Like, it's like a circle of life, and
That's 100% agree, man.
he
I'm not
makes a
against it
really
either.
good point when with, like, nothing against vegans or vegetarians of any kind, but, um, when they make the argument of, like, killing animals, he's like, "Yeah, but in order to get your vegan organic stuff, you gotta pesticide this, chemical that, and you killed an entire field population of animals.
Yeah,
You've killed them all, every
yeah.
single one of them. So there's really, I don't know, there's no perfect system.
No. Well, we need it. You need it to survive. You said it perfectly. It's a circle of life, man.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Watch The Lion King, people. Go watch The
Right.
Lion King.
You
Speaking of,
deliberately disobeyed me.
did you watch the live version of that one? The Lion
No,
King?
no,
What? That's really good. It was really good. I liked it.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
No shit.
Mhm.
Was it on Disney?
Oh, I don't know
Is-
where you can find it. I'm sure you can find it on Disney, yeah. It was a really good one. I thought it was pretty well done. They followed the story pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't make any major changes or anything.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
check that one
Now
out.
that you said the Lion King, man, this is funny that you said that, dude. I was thinking about the Tiger King.
Oh god.
You watch that? I'm sure you watched
I
that.
watched it, yeah.
Everybody in the world watched that.
Yeah, that was the dumbest, funniest show I've ever
You know, I will say,
Just what a zoo,
it,
literally.
dude, it was probably one of the best documentaries ever made, though. Like, seriously. I know when,
Think so?
I think so. I mean, I would go back and watch it again. I mean, it was a good story. It brought to light a lot of situations with zoos, right? Now, I'm not against zoos that help animals that are in need. Okay,
Mhm.
like we got a local zoo by us where he takes in animals that are hurt and stuff, and like he's got animals that got 3 legs up there,
Yep.
right? So I'm all for that. But when the family and I went to New Orleans, we went to the zoo down there. We're like, oh, let's check out a zoo down here, bigger area. Let's see what's up. And I've always been a fan of like gorillas and monkeys and stuff. Well,
Yeah.
obviously, and lions too, right? Tigers, cats. I love cats. But the way they had their zoo set up there, it was like there was a trench. There was no cage or fence. It was weird. So I roll up and I'm looking, and there's a bunch of gorillas doing their thing, and there's this one just sitting like under a rock. And the rock was it almost looked like a scene from The Lion King when he holds up
Oh,
Simba,
like Pride
like
Rock?
looking over. Yeah,
Is that what
like,
it's called? Pride Rock, I think?
yeah, I think you might
Or
be
is that
right.
yeah, that might be Pride Rock. Or is that Peter Pan? I don't know.
No,
I don't know my Disney
yeah,
movies.
probably. Yeah, it's been a long time. Well, we grew up with all them
Pride
too.
Pride Rock. Where's
No, the
Pride Rock?
Pride Lands is what.
Pride
This is the
Lands.
Pride Lands. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm staring, and there's this big one under. He must have been Big Daddy of the whole population there, and he just looked pissed, like he just.
He's grumpy.
And I'm looking at, and he look at you too. It's like he knew, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is some shit. I'm in here, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, if he got up on that rock and just beelined it and jumped, we're done. So they
Yeah.
must have had some sort of electrical, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah,
Because
that would be some sort of safety hazard, you would think.
yeah, dude, it was something I've never seen it like that before, man.
Hmm.
And it's kind of sad to like see animals in there. You know what I mean?
They're too smart to be in there too, man. They're
Right.
just they don't belong. I get it. I like zoos. I think they're entertaining and they can be educational for sure. But it shouldn't be like a it shouldn't be a place where you get an animal and then keep them. It should be like a rehabilitation center for
Right.
animals who are injured,
Yeah.
and then they can get them back to health and then release them if they can. At the same time though, like, and I'm not educated enough on this, but you think if they're in captivity for too long that releasing them into the wild, maybe they
Could be a
wouldn't
bad
be.
thing.
Yeah, they like
Right.
like their troop or their like group of animals wouldn't accept them again, or they'd be on their own, or they would, who knows, you know what I mean? They'd be like prey basically. Oh, kill the weak link, and they could be the weak link.
Which is that's probably pretty accurate. But I mean, we all adapt, and I'm sure animals adapt
Right.
right after a period of time.
Hmm.
You adapt to your surroundings or the situation. You have to.
Right.
It's just how we're all made.
No, the monkeys and all the the apes of any kind, those are the best things to watch because well, I was just watching a video of one the other day. Like he was like pointing at a lady's purse. I don't know if this video's been going around if people have seen it, but he's like pointing at the. He just keeps pointing at this lady's purse, and the lady's like, "What? What?" And he's like, she shows the purse, and he's like, "No, no, no, lady." And there's some dude talking on doing a voiceover of it, you know,
Yeah.
freaking hilarious. It's like, no, lady, open the purse, open the damn purse. And he's just like getting into it, you know, and the monkey's just sitting there like, no, 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 grab that, open it up. She
They're
pulls out like
smart, man.
fruit snacks, and he's like, yeah, 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 and then he's like, come over here, and then he walks over to the edge of the fence, and he's like pointing to the lady to
Like,
go around the fence to where it's open, and so he can have the
that's
fruit
great.
snacks.
They're smart,
It's like
but
what? How
I
do they
just
know that?
it's just yeah. I agree with you, and I'm not knowledgeable enough to know or understand the whole situation. It's just my thought,
Yeah,
opinion, talking about it. But I was thinking about Joe Exotic and how at one time he probably was a good zookeeper because he really loved animals. But then, all the fame and the glory and all the shit happening went to his head and everything fell apart. But
yeah,
I just thought it was put together and it brought to light a lot of things that probably
yeah.
have happened. And it's got,
What do you think of that whole situation? What do you think of that goddamn Carol Baskins?
yeah, I don't know what to think about that.
Is
That
that
was a
like you think that was all freaking is that all real? Is that all real shit? Is he really sitting in prison?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Really?
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know if that
because
was all made
there
for
was a
TV shit.
whole thing going around for Trump to get him out of prison.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
like when
Yeah.
people were telling to pardon Edward Snowden and all this other,
Yeah. Well,
Julian
see,
Assange.
I saw the documentary and I'm like, okay, they probably just like doctored this whole thing up to make it look better for TV so that way there was all the drama, you know? Like I didn't know if that was actually really what was happening or
No, he's in the clink, man. Well, I mean, he did some bad shit to animals.
yeah,
He
and
killed lions and shit,
yeah,
tigers and all that, and crossbreeded and all that whole program.
yeah, making
But
some funky cats, man.
yeah, but just to think, I mean, to even be a zookeeper or be a part of in a program like that, I mean, like look at down where was that? Where one of the whales killed one of the like that's happened. Whales have
Oh,
killed
like
their
SeaWorld?
SeaWorld,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Killed the trainer.
I mean, we swam with dolphins and that was really cool. But
Hmm.
it's also kind of like an animal is an animal,
Without
right?
a doubt.
And they
Well,
can
that's like being on my route. You know, mailmen and dogs. It's infamously known as like this big rivalry, right? Like dogs just don't like mailmen. That's just what it is, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's the
right.
cartoon over and over and over again. But I mean, truth is, most dogs are super nice. They love you. They give them treats and they just love you. But there are some that are
Oh
mean
yeah.
and they're not mean to their owners and their owners will come out and be like, oh, they're just totally they're nice, they're a nice dog. Really? Because I'm watching it at the end of its leash literally foaming at the mouth waiting to like eat my arm, you know. And it's like it's not a nice dog and it's going to attack me. You need to get it in the house, you know, just that kind of stuff. But they think that it's a nice dog because it's their dog.
We're right. It
But
knows them.
yeah, but like when you if you have somebody coming up to your door every day making little clinky noises, opening your mailbox and putting it away and then walking away. And you're barking at that person. And when they walk away, there, you did your job. But they do it every day. Eventually, you're gonna want to like if you get the chance, you're gonna bite that guy. That's how dogs operate, you know, at least from a mailman standpoint, that's how it works.
Let me ask you this: do they give you any kind of training or give you any type of
But
situational ways to
yeah,
handle anything like that?
yeah. So like, well, we have dog spray, which is mace basically,
Yeah.
which I don't know if it works or not. I've never had to use it. But basically you have your satchel and you're supposed to like use your satchel as like a shield as like, you know, one. They give you training on how to like back away from the dog and just all kinds of stuff. But
Yeah, because when they got that instinct,
a
man.
dog will chase you. And they're like, well, just don't run away because then it'll chase you. Well, yeah, but it's gonna like hunt you, it's gonna walk you down no matter what. Even if you're backing away slowly, then you're just showing it that the dog is stronger. In my opinion, you're showing that the dog is is more powerful, and then it knows that it can attack you, and it'll be a good thing.
Yep.
But now there's stories, man. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of stories.
Yeah.
There's a carrier I get supposedly in Menominee that was a carrier that was in martial arts, and this huge dog came running at him, and he just did like a spinning back kick right to the dog's chest when it jumped at him. Just dropped the dog right there. It laid there for a little bit, got up and like whimpered home. Just like what the
Chuck
fuck?
Norris style.
Yeah, literally just like finished him. I was like, well,
Hmm?
but if dude, if it's me or the dog, I'm taking the dog down, man. That's just the way it is.
Well, that
And I
yeah,
don't want to,
right. Well, you got to
I
do it.
love
Yeah.
dogs, but
We
I'm not gonna
lived
let a dog sink its teeth into me.
we lived in our old house before we bought this one with across the street from us. They had a couple dogs and the kids were outside playing. Landon was younger and he got bit by one of them. And they weren't home and the dog got out. So it was in its yard like just barking at everything. And I was pissed, man. I ran over there. It's like this is it.
Right.
And I mean, it was coming after me, but and then while I was going over there and it was just, freaking out, there was another group of people walking because we lived over by a nice park area.
Yeah.
And they had a little kid and it turned and it started to go after him. And I'm yelling, I'm like, you guys, and I started making a bunch of noise to get the dog's attention to come back to me. And then they, took off, but we had to call the cops. And yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big deal, man.
Yeah, you gotta remember dogs are wild animals still. I mean, they're domesticated, but their brains aren't as domesticated as
Well, it's the instinct,
right, exactly. They're
right?
not as domesticated as the instinctual part of them. I mean, you think about even little dogs, even my dogs, if you have food and if we're eating at the on the couch one night or something watching a movie and you're sitting there and you're not really paying attention, if the dogs start getting close to it, they'll attack each other for the food. They just will. And
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do about it. We can stop them. "Hey, what are you doing? Snap out of it." And then they'll be
Well,
fine. They'll be, "Oh, crap. Sorry.
yeah.
Just went
Yeah.
back to my heritage for a minute," like like
Oh,
my
there I am.
ancestors just took over for a second there,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, it's
But
just Maggie sees a squirrel or a rabbit and she, yeah,
that's ZB.
just beeline.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, ZB's are squirrel hunter and rabbit hunter, man. And, she'll, um she'll be looking out the windows constantly, window to window to window to window, trying to find them in the yard, and if they are, look out. She will
That's
let you know.
that's cool that they use your satchel as a shield. That's cool.
Yep.
That's the way we should be doing wars. Is like old school with swords and shit. That
There
would
you
be
go.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against guns, but that would be some shit. Swords and shields.
You'd see a little bit different mentality going into things, wouldn't you?
Well, I would assume so.
Fuck that. I wouldn't wanna go to war anyway, but, like,
Well, right.
I wouldn't wanna be face to face with some big mammoth dude with a shield and a sword in front of him. Fuck that.
Wow.
You kidding me? Let's just see some knight on a giant horse coming at you like,
Hey,
"Oh, no way."
that changed the world though, man.
No, I'll just be Jon Snow
Just
sitting there ready to go.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Battle of the Bastards. You remember that scene? Because that's probably one of my favorite scenes when he's out there in the field all by himself and he turns around and there's just horses with guys coming at him and he's like,
Yep. He was
"This
ready
is
to
it."
take on the world by
You
himself.
know, that's what it's about, man. I know that's just a fantasy and a story, but
Yeah.
just to think about that back how long ago when that's how people fought.
Yeah.
Mm,
I
men
know,
came
and what you wonder how much that's doctored up in movies and stuff to make it, because like, I don't know, like, was it I mean, did guys go out to battle, and were they like did they come back dead? How do or was it
right.
like or was it, "Alright, we got injured, and then it's just live another day," type of thing? You know what I mean?
I would
Was there
assume so.
mercy? Was there mercy back then? Did they have, like or was it just ruthless kill, 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 you know? I don't know.
It was probably a mix, man. I would assume so. right? I
Yeah,
mean, obviously in movies and in stories, but like the old books and stuff, there wasn't guns,
right,
right? Or cannons and shit on
right.
ships, and it was you.
Well, actually, on Netflix, there's a documentary of Japan and the samurai. Did you
Okay.
ever watch that?
No, but I'm
Oh,
interested.
dude. So I got really into like ninja, like samurai type video games for a little while, and like, um, I found that on Netflix, and I'm like, I gotta watch this, and it was like the history of like each family and each dynasty that came about, and like what happened, and how the gun like transformed the samurai, because samurai were like
Oh, they were the
legit
elite.
a legit war, you're right, and I mean, it
Yeah,
was good stuff, but then, yeah, I can't remember which dynasty was that got their hands on guns, but changed the whole game, you know, and, like, it was kinda cool to show, like, how each dynasty, like, took over a section of land, and then, like, as they spread their wings out to another section of Japan, then another section would come in behind. It was just, you know
that's cool.
yeah, it was kinda neat. It was a good documentary. It
I
was
like
long.
learning
I
about
think
all
there's
that
quite a
history
few
stuff.
episodes, but it was kinda cool.
That's good shit. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I
But
love
yeah,
watching documentaries and learning
yeah.
about all old stuff and history, and
Mhm.
it's interesting.
It is.
Even
It
like
really is.
forged in steel, how they used
Yeah.
to make 'em. I mean, there were blacksmith. That was a
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
That's an art.
That is a cool art too.
That's a trade, you know?
Yep.
So there must have been battles like that,
There had to be.
right? And you mentioned like the samurais and ninjas and, the Eastern culture and martial arts, like that was all a thing.
Mhm.
It's cool, man. I
Yeah.
love that
No,
shit.
man, the samurai, that's I still get a kick out of that stuff. I like I said, I was, like, big into samurai video games, so it was just kinda fun.
It's fun how one thing leads to the next. So you're
Yeah,
into the video game and now you're like, "Oh, I wanna learn about this stuff. I
right.
wanna." That World War II was like that for me.
Okay.
I played Call of Duty, the very original Call of Duty, and loved it, and then it made me, I mean, obviously, you learn about it in school, but you're young and some people don't pay attention, you're a kid, whatever,
Right.
but it made me wanna go and learn more and research stuff, and
But look, this is perfect proof that you just said I'm glad you just said that, like, how the education system is broken, and we've kinda discussed this a little bit too, but, like, you can learn about World War II in school, not give 2 shits about it, but then you go play a video game about World War II, and then you'll go on your own and study the shit out of it,
yeah.
probably learn more than you would have in school from what they're teaching you. So, like, it's just proof that not every kid learns the same. You gotta find different ways to show them the same information, you know?
Well, it's just like reading. A lot of
Yeah.
kids don't but give them a comic book. "Oh, it's got pictures and color." Yeah, but it's still you're reading it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're taking words and you're using the pictures to help
A visual guide.
right, yeah, exactly.
That's the simplest way to do it.
Right,
Because a lot of kids that I mean, I try to get my boys to read because I love reading, but they don't really care.
right. Well, see, and that's for me too, like, I'll read some things. Like, I was really I would get Golf Digest. That's how I taught myself to golf. I literally, like, read the crap out of Golf Digest. I just got subscriptions, and I would read that thing cover to cover. Any books, I hate reading books. It makes me fall asleep. I get bored really quickly. But I can listen to books, and I'll listen to a book straight through. Like, I won't wanna stop, I won't wanna put it down, nothing. I'll just wanna listen and, like, listen to the book, and I
Yeah,
can comprehend it. I follow it all. I remember everything. But if I read it, I'll have to read the same chapter over and over and over again to, like, let it all sink in.
let it sink yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
So, like, I'm more of, like, an audio visual type person.
That's cool.
Like, visual like, seeing in a movie or something.
Right.
So, yeah, it's weird like that.
Yeah, and I love reading the book. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, I like visual stuff too, but I prefer like, I can't do the audio because
really.
I can't focus, yeah.
Just doesn't yeah.
It doesn't fire my cylinders aren't firing.
Hmm.
I'm not and then I gotta, like, rewind it or, scroll back or
Yeah.
then re-listen to it. It's like, "Shit, what I miss?" So yeah, but it's interesting. But you're right. That's a great point. There, you find different ways for kids to learn things, and there are some
Mhm.
teachers that try to do that.
Yeah, oh, there are. Yeah, without a doubt.
But
Without a
I
doubt.
loved it. I just was like World War II everything, and that was a crazy war, man. That was a big deal.
Most deaths ever in a war, I believe. 400,000, I think.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot,
Mhm.
and then just to think of like how people had to live too back then. Nuts.
Well, that was like a nationwide, like, thing too. If you had extra metal, like, send it in. We need to make bullets, you
Yep.
know?
The reason I just we watched American Sniper the other night
Oh, nice.
with Bradley Cooper
Mhm.
about the Iraq War. Very good movie, man. I believe I watched it. That's an older 2015, I believe that came out.
Yeah.
2015. So it's been some years, but man,
That one's about Chris Kyle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's every time they showed the World Trade Centers getting hit, every time I get chills, man. I get choked up a little bit cuz I remember that. I remember where I was that when that happened that day.
I remember exactly where I was. Like, exactly. Like, I remember the desk I was sitting at in
Yeah.
school.
I was in the cafeteria, man, and then
Yep.
we went to after every it just got quiet
Yeah.
and everybody was just watching the TV.
Yep. Yeah, we were in I was in, my, like, tech ed class. I remember the computer I was at, I remember I was sitting there, and our teacher's like, "Yeah, this thing just happened," and he brought it up on the big screen. I'm like, "Yeah, it was only 1. It was only the first one got hit."
Yeah. Yep.
And then our class ended, and we were just kinda discussing it, and as I was walking, they went over the announcement and said that one got hit, and it was the second one. So, like, it happened, like, that fast, and it was like, "What the heck?" And everyone thought it was like, "Okay, they're just telling us what the first one was that we saw," and it was actually the second one that hit. It was like, "What the heck?" And I remember where I was right outside the gym when that happened. It's like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. We watched it the
Crazy.
rest of the day in school.
Yeah,
I
yeah, so did
remember
we. Every
yeah, I
every class we went to, it was like, "Oh, school's done. We're just gonna
focus on
see
the
what's
news.
happening right now."
Yeah, that was so I mentioned before we've through our lifetime, through our generation, we've lived through some stuff
Mhm.
so far that's in the history, you know?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things, like, even generations before us lived through a lot of stuff, like the other wars and the other, like Oppenheimer, the making of those bombs
Oh
and,
yeah.
just stuff like that that completely changed the world, you know? And I guess right now, because things can move so fast, technology is light years ahead of where it was even 10 years ago,
Oh, for
where it
sure.
took, 50 years to move that kind of distance before. Like, now it's like 2 years we have technology that's so advanced that it's insane.
Yeah, it
But
is, man. It is.
yeah,
It's and we're never gonna go backwards, right? That I
unless we
was
unless we find ourselves in some sort of loophole like Planet of the Apes, then I mean, maybe.
yeah, 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 it could be. My I work with well, he comes in the summer, but he's a professor at a college in the automotive field. And he recently went to a he loves to learn. Great guy. Every time I talk to him, I just enjoy talking to him. And he was one of my teachers actually. He was a high school teacher and then furthered his career. But he went to a class, I want to say in North Carolina for electric cars. And he's like, man, just wait like 5 years from now what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be like a solid state battery for the cars. He was telling me some stuff like and there's even an issue with that, getting, like, all what it takes to make a battery. Were we talking about this? I can't remember who I was talking about this
I
about.
don't know if we talked about that yet.
No?
Batteries?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, trying to
I
get
don't
all the ingredients to put them together.
oh, yeah, I don't think we talked about that
No?
yet.
Well, anyway, yeah, well, one day we'll get to that. But, yeah, it was just interesting, just how, like you were mentioning, like, technology and how far we've come, and we're
Mhm.
light years ahead, and what's to come, who the hell knows? But I feel like to me, fucking bug. Um, it's gonna be like a technology, digital war. Technology is gonna be the
Dude, we're
like,
gonna live in cyberpunk.
yeah. I mean,
You ever play that?
no, but I've heard one of my buddy Spencer plays it. And you told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I didn't get it right away because it was a shit game, but I
yeah,
played it now for a little bit. It's all right,
yeah.
kind of fun. The technology in it is really cool.
Well,
Way, way cool, actually, I should say. But we'll probably
yeah,
be that someday.
yeah. Well, yeah, right. I mean, look at Marty McFly.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
time traveler, man. I'm telling you, they're
Back
out
to the
there.
Future, baby.
There's time travelers. I think there are. They figured
Well,
it
that's
out.
that could be, or it's like we come back, right, from a different rift
Yeah.
in the timeline somewhere, right? Maybe we come back, something different. That's
Yeah,
crazy. I'm talking crazy now.
that whole thing. I think that, I was watching um that documentary on what the hell is it? That Graham Hancock documentary about like ancient civilizations or whatever. Have you ever seen
Uh,
that on Netflix?
I've heard it.
Rogan talks about it all the time.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, it's the one that he talks about. And I watched that and I'm like, this is pretty sweet. And I've come to the conclusion, and it's just me being me thinking of just random shit, but I think that they had the technology to go to space and we're just still the people that are left here. But like if their aliens are
Different.
real, like that's just us from those are just the people that went up there. That's civilized up
Hey,
there
man,
already.
we don't know, man. We don't. That
Like,
could be.
you never
Yeah,
know.
I'm man, the Star Wars series that I'm reading right now with a few of my buddies in the book club we did. It's the New Jedi Order, and they're dealing with something that came from a galaxy that they didn't know, and they're fucking smart, and they're
I
having a hard
mean,
time dealing with it.
and that's what's crazy, right? Like how is it possible if it is I just look at it as like a is it possible, probable, not possible, whatever. Like, how is it with all these galaxies and all these planets and stars and universes and all this shit, right?
Yeah,
How is it possible that the only life forms are on planet Earth?
right.
How is it?
No, I know.
It's like you're like the 0.0000001% of the entire universe, and you're the only living thing.
I know, man. What's that movie with the guy that plays in Guardians of the Galaxy? It's a boat where they take people from Earth because in the future there's this battle going on. I don't want to say it's War of the Worlds, but it's like
Hmm.
end of the I don't know. It's a movie, but
The 100,
yeah.
oh, the 100, because that's like a
Oh, that's a great movie.
that's like a show though, isn't it? The
No,
100.
no. Oh no, that's a show too, yeah. But no, this is fuck. It's a movie. I can't think of it right now. But basically they take people from Earth. They're from the future and Earth's gonna be taken over by these aliens if they don't go and stop it.
World
Type
War
of
Z.
something like that. Well, that's a
I
good
don't know what
movie
it is.
too.
Yeah,
No.
I don't
Well,
know.
anyway, it's a movie like that. But like you were saying, man, yeah, it's how do we know there's gotta be other
Right.
stuff out there? There has to be. There
I mean, you
has
think
to be.
about it. Like, so if we're X amount of miles from the sun, and the sun is a star, and then there's another star, and if there's a planet X amount of miles away from that star, I guess it would have to be the sun is a small star, but like, there's got to be another planet similar to us with similar type life forms.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking up that movie because it's got me bothered now. It's Chris Pratt is his name.
Oh yeah,
Oh, the Tomorrow War.
the Tomorrow War.
Yes.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, looks interesting. I want to watch it. I think it came out a few years ago, like 2 years ago or so. But yeah, the Tomorrow War.
Hmm.
Looks good. But yeah, man, we don't there I believe there's other living beings out there.
Well, how can you not? I mean, you're hardcore into Star Wars. I mean, it just makes sense, dude. You can't be into Star Wars and just think that we're the only ones.
No, well,
It's
right. Well, some
impossible.
people think you're fucking nuts when you talk about aliens and stuff, but how do you know?
Yeah, no one
What's
knows.
wrong? Like,
No one
expand your
knows.
mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't be so CNN.
Yeah, right?
You know what I'm
Get
saying?
outside your box.
Get outside the box. And may the force be with you.
Yes. What do they
Because
say
you're,
back?
cause you're going to
I
need
don't
it.
even remember.
What?
Someone says, "May the force be with you." They don't say, like, "And also with you." That's like church stuff, man. What do they say?
That's what they say. May the force be with you. And then you bust out your lightsaber.
Yeah.
Use the force, Derek.
Ah. So, okay, I was gonna ask you this.
Sure.
So, in when Padme dies
Yep.
and Darth Vader is getting worked on and fixed back up.
Well, Anakin's getting fixed back up.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and when
Darth Vader,
Anakin's getting
yeah.
fixed back up, and he finds out that Padme dies, and he screams.
No.
Does he, like, kill, like, everything? Doesn't he, like, take out, like, half the universe when he does that?
Well,
Because he's so like,
no,
his
he doesn't
power
do
was,
anything
like,
like that.
completely maximized right there.
Right. No, he's just, well, that's it, man. It's his demise. It's his downfall,
Yeah.
right? Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate.
Yeah.
Hate leads to the dark side. Well, he was doing everything he could to save her.
No,
Palpatine,
yeah, I know, and well, because it was for love, but, like, what did
yeah.
when he? Because he was, the like, all-powerful, wasn't he? He was just he had it all.
Well, nah, Palpatine was all powerful.
Okay.
He didn't know how to control what he had going on with him at the time. He's all machined up. I mean, I guess it depends on what you're looking at through a video game. If you're talking like the Force Unleashed or through some of the books.
Yeah.
Some of the books, like, yeah, he was pretty ruthless, more ruthless than we see in the films. He did a lot
Darth
of,
Vader was, you're
yeah, he
saying?
killed a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he had the Force, but then he also had but he couldn't differentiate between the 2, right?
What do you mean?
'Cause that
Dude,
when he was, like, as Anakin, he had the Force,
he was supposed to be the chosen one. Yes, he was the
right?
most strongest with the, yeah.
And then once he started going to the dark side, then did he become more powerful, or did he just
Oh,
lose
yeah. No, he became more powerful, right? Yes. Yes.
because
He,
he had a combination of the 2, or because the dark side is more powerful than the Force?
well, that is like the force is everything. It's all
It's balance,
yeah, it's the living force. It's always surround you. It's in everything.
right?
It's just how you harness it and such. Right? That's why the Jedi are always considered monks, we'll say.
Yeah.
No pun, not Midwest monks. But they didn't do things with their emotions. That's why they weren't supposed to be in love and they weren't supposed to, right? It was just the force. That's all
Right.
they cared about. And they didn't want to they never wanted to fight, right? They always wanted to keep
Talk
things,
it out or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
And
Interesting.
then, yeah. I mean, we can get into this a little bit deeper
Yeah, we'll
at
dive
another
into that
time.
on another collecting day, but, no, I was just curious. I was thinking about that today.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, who's the most powerful? Like, who's, like, the dude?
Well,
Palpatine?
he was the strong, like, he was the one that infiltrated, in my opinion, he infiltrated the Jedi and everyone. He somehow snuck his way in to
Like,
become
the
the
ultimate
chancellor,
protagonist.
and then, yeah, like, he was it's hard because a lot of the books and lore that people don't like, it explains things a lot better, or it shows like how he got there and how things happened more than that we get in the films,
Right.
right? That's why a
Yeah,
lot
the
of
films
people.
are a quick run through of a generalized vision of what it is, but
But Anakin was, everyone believed, the one that to bring balance to the
yeah,
Force. But
and it ended up
you
being
can
Luke.
really never have balance, right? Because balance would mean there would be nothing. There would be no good or bad.
Right.
Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And like Luke was a better version, yes. To me, Luke is the top dog. Like he's the most powerful because he knows how to control his emotions. Just in
Right.
like Return of the Jedi, he had the opportunity to kill Darth Vader
Right.
and he chose not to. Where Darth Sidious, Palpatine was pushing him to kill him. Kill all your friends are gonna die out there unless you kill him. And he
Right.
said, "No, I'm not gonna." And then that was the ultimate, say, sacrifice, and it redeemed Darth Vader to a point. Anakin brought him back, and then that's when in the film he picks him up and throws him down the chute. So he brought the light back into Vader.
Right.
So to me, Luke's the most powerful.
Makes sense. Good argument. I like that.
Hmm. There's a lot to be said. A lot of people have different opinions. I also feel Obi-Wan was very, very powerful. He was, I don't know, he was a cool breeze, but he wanted Luke to kind of kill Vader in the movie. He wanted him, you got to kill him. There's no other way. So that was kind of the wrong thing to say.
Right. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to
No,
dig
it's
into this a
interesting.
little more with you.
I know. I wanna learn more now too. I've watched the new ones too, and the new ones piss me off. I'm sorry. I'm jumping on the bandwagon of the hardcore
Of the
OG.
sequel haters? Yeah,
Yeah. And
that's all right.
only for a couple reasons. One, like the story and everything. The story's good. I like it.
Yeah,
I like how it all flows and everything. But
sure.
one thing bothered the shit out of me. Um,
Okay.
Rey, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
She like became this like badass Jedi without ever training for it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people said that.
What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Like how a Jedi trains for years and years and years and to become a Jedi, and then like she just picks up a lightsaber one day and is like a wizard. It's like what?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I don't.
Just that's just bad writing though.
Well,
Like they could have tied it in better
the
and
movies
made it.
were rushed.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they were probably rushed and then they're just like, "Here, we'll just skip over like some really major shit that I like that."
Got that from, my friend Buddy. He actually the shirt
Buddy the
came from
Elf.
him. My amazing shirt here with Grogu came from him too. He hooked me up with, I gotta give a shout out to him. Well, this will be on a collecting episode, but I was, very impressed and very happy.
Is that
Yeah.
oh, that's the bundle that you got the other day you were talking
Yeah.
about?
Yes. A big box, and it knocked my socks off.
Very cool.
Yeah. A lot of people had that issue with the films. It took me a little bit. I rewatched them and I kept an open mind, and that conversation that I had with Mr. Mike Bidler kind of opened my eyes, and I watched it through a different perspective, and I enjoyed them.
Mhm,
The original trilogy is it for me, right? That's like my favorite. I always go to them, and then it's the prequels. The Phantom Menace in particular
mhm.
is my favorite of the prequels. Just because I remember seeing in the theaters and all the hype and all the fun. It was just
Is
amazing,
that
and
the one with the pod racing?
pod racing, yep. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan,
Yep,
Liam Neeson, fantastic.
yep.
But the Force is to jump back to the Force real quick, a lot of the different Jedi and Jedi Masters always they all have like kind of their different idea of the Force. and what it does. But Anakin was supposed to be the chosen one to bring balance, but he was too old, and he was already had attachment issues because of his mom.
Mm,
So this is a whole thing we can get into that
yeah.
play a factor into what happened to him.
Right
But
on.
if I was in love, and I would do anything to protect my wife, right?
Yeah. So
And then
yeah.
you never watched the Clone Wars animated series, hey?
Logan used to watch it, which, by the way, it's Logan's birthday today. So happy
Really?
birthday, Logan. Love you, buddy.
Happy birthday, bud.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But Logan got into it, so I would watch it a little bit here and
Yeah.
there when he was a little kid, right? So that's been out for quite a while. So I would watch it a little bit here and there, not too much, not too much.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's 7 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of it's good. Went into the background a little more with Anakin and Obi-Wan and such too. So, but yeah, man. It's I love it, man. I love the Force. I believe in it. We're all connected somehow.
Yeah, I
Everything
think
we
we are.
need, everything to happen, right? So yeah, this was a fun episode, man. This was good.
I like
Episode
this.
10 too.
Yeah,
Episode 10, man. The Big 10. We're moving
double
along here.
digits.
Double
Boom,
digits now.
getting up there. That's good.
Yep. And
We're
I
gonna
just
keep
want to,
we're gonna keep rolling too.
yes, we are. I just want to shout out to everyone to say thanks for watching and supporting us. We appreciate it very much. Hopefully,
Absolutely.
you're digging what we're saying. We're
Yeah, give us
spitting
a
out there.
like and share and leave a comment. We'll get back to you.
Yeah. And, be easy and keep smiling. Life's too
Be
short.
easy. That's right.
That's right. Well, there you have it, guys. Until next time.
See you later.
Peace.